I'm Sonja Grace, spirit traveler, making my way to Chaco Canyon. This area is a remote canyon that has ancient villages spreading over 4 states. Beautiful pictographs and amazing architecture make up many of the sites that we're going to see today. History has recorded the first evidence of cliff dwellers dated around 900 BC, and pit houses were found dating back to 200 AD. The ancestral Pueblo cultures were really thriving from 850 AD to about 1150 AD. These ancient pueblos were built with such complexity, they had 200 to 700 rooms and were 4 to 5 stories high. They were built with the 18.6-year cycle of the minimum and maximum moonrise and moonset. They were also aligned with the equinox and the solstice, and the same as Stonehenge or any of the ancient sites around the world. The ancient people understood that their world and their calendar and their activities were based on these markers throughout the year of equinox and solstice and the moon in its rising, the moon in its waning, and all of the ceremonies based on this system. As a spirit traveler or time traveler, I have gone back to Chaco Canyon around 1200 AD and looked at what happened to the people. Where did they go? How did they just vanish? And everything was still left in place. In my experience of walking through Chaco Canyon in person, I felt the same things that I felt when I went back in time. And that is something really important happened to these people that caused them to suddenly vanish. In my time travels, I found there were a lot of signs that the people had that caused the impetus to migrate. One of the biggest things that happened was drought. But another really big sign that took place roughly 146 years before they all vanished was a supernova. This is depicted in a pictograph on the wall there in Chaco Canyon. I think that the people had all kinds of connections and ways in which they communicated with the earth. One of the most important ways was the ancient ant people, or the Savrok. The Savrok are known throughout history, and they are the first beings who were ever on Earth. I've encountered the Savrok on many of my time travels. They are responsible for the underground tunnels and cities that helped people to take refuge at the end of Atlantis and Lemuria, and various times where people have been up against natural disasters. The Savrok have shown me many sites, including the Grand Canyon, and how the people came up through the Sipapu. The Sipapu, or opening into the ground, is depicted in the kivas, and the kivas being these large round ceremonial chambers that are dug into the earth, are very sacred to the people. There's over 25 of them just at Pueblo Bonita. I saw the people leaving Chaco Canyon in 3 different ways. One was here in the kivas through the Sipapu, where they emerged in the Grand Canyon, and other ways where the people were taken through the mesa into the underground tunnels that the Savrok had built. Some returned back to the south where they came from. We're going to look at a portal and discover the 3rd way the people left Chaco Canyon. This area right here is a huge portal. And when I say portal, what I mean is the energy shifts. There's a different energy here. The energy's really cool. It's very, very light. It's super, super like vibrant, like it feels electrical. This portal and other portals around the world have been used since the beginning of time. The Pleiadians are benevolent beings. They come here to help humanity, especially at the beginning of a new phase of humanity. I also encountered something that really surprised me while visiting Chaco Canyon, and that is the little people. We know them as Menehune in Hawaii. We know them as leprechauns in Ireland. These are the magical little people who govern and take care of the ley lines. The ley lines are the energy lines of the earth. They're like the earth's meridian lines. And the little people have always been the ones to care for them and make sure that they stay open and flowing for the earth. The little people were known to the ancient people. They could see them. They interacted with them. They were playful. They were very mischievous. And the people, in the practical sense, made their doorways and their windows small to hold the heat in or keep the heat out. But there was also symbology in that, and that is that they were welcoming the little people in. Whether it's through time travel or you physically go there, be sure and feel your feelings. Tune into the place and understand that there are many energies, many portals, and many spirits of the land that inhabit these sacred places. Most of all, go there with respect. Ask permission to enter the site, and do not pick up anything or take anything home. Be respectful and honor the ancestors and the ancient people, because their spirits and their energy still walks that land. I'm so glad you could join me. This is Sonja Grace, Spirit Traveler.